Shall we begin?
So it begins. And now it begins. So it begins.
And so it begins.
Shall we begin?
Shall I begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
We don't have a theme song yet, but we'll get one at some point. Time for some cosmic conversations.
Space adventures.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll come up with one at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you guys are probably wondering, what the hell are Flip and Rook doing live on a Sunday night? Well, we're going to try to have a little time slot over here to talk about some cosmic conversations. We'll be getting that rolling at some point. This is just a run through, seeing how we do with all this and stuff. We got some cool stuff. Flip and I talk all the time, and we freaking love the space stuff. And Flip was telling me about the Perseverance rover. So that's going to be our topic for today. Before we get into that, anything you want to say to our audience real quick? Flipster?
Yeah. This is sort of a preliminary, and we're excited to talk about, science and space and humanity and stuff. But this particular topic is neat. It's just really neat. They just launched it in July, and it will be landing soon. So it's something we can all kind of follow along with if you're into space and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's right. Rook is right. We're going to start this stream more, continually, but more professionally starting in January. But we want to go through it a few times.
Yeah, but until then, we're doing some trial runs, seeing how we can do this, see how we can get our flow going, if this time slot works for us both and everything. And yeah, and into 2021, we'll have a more set, established idea right there. What's up, Brian TV in the chat? Good to see you. Glad you came around. Do you like some cosmic conversations? You will, if you don't. And what's up, Justin Propa? What's up, my buddy? He's been helping me. He's been listening to me a little bit on some of my ideas lately. So I appreciate the idea bounce backer.
Cool.
So
gotta have friends. Good to have.
Indeed. Ryan TV says Sunday.
Anything to take everyone's mind off the bloody elections, mate.
Exactly. Oof. Lots of crazy stuff over there. But here we shall go above that and go into the space adventures. And I feel like going to Mars. So if I wanted to bring some type of probe with me, what kind should I bring? What kind of a land-based probe should I bring?
There's so many options. But I think we should probably go with the top option. The newest Tony Stark invented option.
Would be the Chewbacca.
I don't know what that is.
I was trying to make a robot joke, but I said Chewbacca instead of Chewbacca or something. My tongue couldn't do it in my head.
Right. I think it would be the Perseverance. The Perseverance is it launched on July 30th this year, and it has been floating through space ever since, going roughly, I believe, 20-something thousand miles an hour. I have no idea. I know that to orbit around Earth, you have to be 17,000 miles an hour. That's 6 times the speed of sound. To get to another planet, you have to do an injection burn. So you're going to be going upwards of 24,000 miles per hour. That is an insane amount of speed. That's like 10 miles a second, something like that. It's still not very fast, though, ultimately. But it's going to land February 18th, 2021. And I'm just excited. I hope you guys are excited about this. There's a lot going on here. The very first, the Sojourner, they dropped that, I believe it was 1997. They dropped that on the planet in this big balloon thing that bounced all around the planet until it finally set still. And if it had landed on its side when it stopped, it would have righted itself, and then the balloons would have deflated, and this is what happened. Actually, it did right itself, and it did deflate. And then this little rover came out about the size of 2 shoeboxes, and it was amazing. It worked, and obviously over the years, the Curiosity and others have been sent to Mars, and they're a little bit bigger, maybe the size of a small animal like a dog. But this sucker, this is a big thing. Think of it as like a compact car, a little bit bigger than that even. And
so like a smart car?
Yeah, definitely like the size of a smart car, maybe a little bit bigger than that. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd just love to see one of these rovers on the road, take a look at the smart car. Pathetic.
In comparison to the Sojourner, I mean, this thing is a beast. And so the thing about going to Mars with non-human objects, they only land half the time. The other 50% of the time, they are destroyed completely. Like they just don't make it. They lose track of it. They don't.
How many probes or how many rovers have they sent to Mars so far?
That's a good question. I think it's in the 30s or 40s. I can't remember, to be honest with you. Do
you remember when the first probe was sent to Mars? What that one was or what year?
Oh wow. It was it's right on the tip of my tongue. The Mariner? That can't be right. The Mariner? I don't know. I'm not looking this up while I talk to you, so I don't remember the name of it.
It was the Sojourner, or Sojourner, or something.
The Sojourner. That's the first.
That was in 1997.
I just told you that.
Oh, that's what that one was. Oh shit. My bad.
Yeah, the Sojourner was the first rover.
Okay. No, you're good. Yeah, because it said the Pathfinder. Okay, you're right. I was just checking you, and you're right. So
yeah, I got something right. I don't remember the first one, but I do know. I mean, I do know what it did. I don't know the name of it. It landed and it sat there and took a few pictures, and it actually took a sample of the Martian soil. It was a life determination sampling mission. Like they wanted to see if the soil had biology in it. And according to the way they ran the test, the answer was yes, but they refused to acknowledge it as a true, detection of life. I don't know why. I think it's politics, something to do with politics, and we all know how that goes. But according to that original test, from the very first American object that landed on Mars, there supposedly is life in the soil. The Perseverance, by the way, is also going to do that exact thing. Brian TV says, I have sources at the Cape. Depending on how things look in January, we may be seeing exciting things happen, not just with rockets and missions, but better gear for astronauts. That's outstanding. There's a lot going on. You're so right, Brian. There's a lot going on. The Merritt Island was named after my family.
Oh, really? I could believe that.
Well, we share the same name, Merritt. That's my last name. So look me up. Flip Merritt. No, I'm kidding. That's not my first name.
They'll double check.
Yeah.
For all we know, you've been holding out. You've been, just testing the, YouTube atmosphere for your free time.
Yeah. I have connections at the Cape too. No, I'm kidding. I have a Cape, although it doesn't really do much for me. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. Greetings, programs.
Yep. What's up, Max World Entertainment? Thanks for coming on in as well. Daytona Falls has joined us. James Clark. We got the Intruder Skills. What's up? Says, what's up, bro? What's up, bro?
What's up?
And we got, hopefully one day we'll have Johnny Five on Mars. Yeah,
it looks like Johnny Five, doesn't it?
A little bit. I could see it having a personality. I think there was an animated movie that had like a probe like this, or a rover. He was called Rover. He's like, "Come on, Rover, come on!" Treating it like a dog.
Yeah, it seems familiar.
I forget what movie that was. Hail K-Log in the chat.
Hail,
hail to the hail, yeah. And says early happy birthday flipped out.
Oh man, thank you. Boy, that's remembering right there. It hasn't even popped up on Twitter yet, has it? I don't think so.
No, it should be a couple hours before then.
Very cool. Thank you very much.
I like that. Yeah, he's turning a nice old ripe age of 61. No, just kidding.
61. 47. I'm 47. At 3:34 this morning, I will be 47.
Yeah.
Go by Flip Merritt. It has a catchy ring to it. I do at work, actually. That's exactly the name I go by at work.
Your last name should be changed to Phone.
Phone? Flip Phone?
Yes. What's up, Flip Phone?
Yeah.
How you doing? What's up, Fallon Hale in the chat? What's up? She's been doing some cool artwork lately, everybody. So, yeah.
Just started a Patreon, too. So check that out.
Hell yeah. We'll have links for stuff very soon. We're just doing like a trial run here today for this type of topic and everything, and saying hello to y'all, see if you guys are interested in this kind of thing at all. Flip and I talk about space all the time, and we're just kind of like, we should just go live sometime and just, talk about stuff as we go.
Yeah, just rap about it. See what's up.
Exactly. Kellogg's like, I got a good memory. Yeah, he's got a frog's memory. So.
Oh, Daytona, man. You have some of the craziest videos. I love your videos, bro.
Yeah. Hey.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, Fallon.
Get some happy birthdays in the chat for you. Everybody. There we go. Saying happy birthday. All right. And I guess as we're just about to start again, Brian says, all right, start a new job tomorrow. Oh, nice, dude.
Congrats.
Get something good? Let's hope.
Yeah,
the Wookiee supremacy has arrived as well. He says, hey, rookie, hey, Flip. I can't make the noise.
I can't.
Exactly. We got CJH with us too as well. Hail, brother. Hail, brother.
Hail.
And we got Abaddon. Wait, Abaddon. God damn it. What? Abandon. Okay. God damn it. I was like, is that a Brandon? A Brandon? Abandoned.
You gotta look twice on it. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't fully fuck up right there. There we go. He says science fiction gets better with science fact. I agree 100%.
Yeah, man. I was just talking to Rook earlier in the week, and I was like, man, it's crazy how watching SpaceX build the Starship and watching these NASA missions and all of these other companies competing is more interesting than science fiction. Well, at least nowadays it is. So.
Exactly. So let's get back onto this topic while we got everybody coming on in. I'm going to post a question in the chat, seeing if anybody thinks there might be life on Mars. But while they're thinking about that, so let's continue. So they're launching this in January. It's going to land in February, he said.
Yes, it's going to land February 18th. That's the date it should land. Hopefully it does. It's also known as the Mars 2020 rover. They just named it right before, I think a couple of months before they launched it. And they named it after the year of 2020 being something to persevere through. I always say that R in there.
Clever.
Yeah, it's also been called Percy, which I don't get. I'm not really sure why they do that.
And they like to give them little nicknames as if it's like as if it's your dog or something.
Yeah.
So this thing's like almost the size of a car, or at least as big as a smart car.
It's huge, really. Landing anything on Mars is very difficult. The gravity is 1/6 Earth's. Is it 1/6? 1/3 Earth's gravity. It's 1/6 on the moon. So 1/3 Earth's gravity. So you would think that it would be easier, but the atmosphere is only 1% of Earth. So the problem comes when you want to slow down. There's no real way to slow down. You're out of fuel. So forget about it. I mean, you spend all your money getting out of the Earth's gravity well and the atmosphere, and you have enough to go around the Earth to get up some momentum, to get up that magic number of 24,000 miles an hour. So when you get to Mars, you are burning. I mean, you are really going fast. Like, I can't even comprehend what that might look like going by you. You might say that thing's going warp drive, but you probably wouldn't even see it. It would go so fast, honestly. And even that's too slow. So it's got to slow down. It comes into the atmosphere and it goes through these stages. So it'll be interesting to see if they can make it land. I really hope they do. They're going to be doing a maneuver. It's 7 minutes of terror. That's the only way I remember it. I can't remember the name of the maneuver. It's something like the dangling, I don't know, but 7 minutes of terror. That's between when they start going into the atmosphere and they lose contact with the spacecraft, and then right before it's about to land, they should get an indication. It takes 29 minutes for a signal to get back to Earth, though. So honestly, even though they lose contact, there's only like the 7-minute period where they really won't know what's going on. They won't know what's going on in real time, period. They're always going to be 29 minutes behind at that distance. But there's 7 minutes that they will be completely blind. So this thing has to come down, fire thrusters, and then crane. I think it's the crane maneuver. Then it has to crane down and then land gently, detach the ropes or whatever the hell they're using. I think they're really using ropes, honestly. And then this contraption that's, firing its thrusters flies off into the distance and just crashes, and that's that. If it really happens, if it really works, it will be a godsend. It will be the largest thing we've ever managed to land on Mars. Here we are talking about dropping humans there in a few years, and honestly, this would be quite a miracle.
Actually, it looks like there's a video on YouTube that shows an animation of the thing that you just described, pretty much.
Yeah, there is.
Let me see here.
Given enough time, we would have had that prepared, but this is, again, just a preliminary.
Exactly. I like your description, though, about it. That reminds me of when I was in middle school. We had to guess about sending certain probes to certain planets and which ones would work where and when, and you got to account for weather and all these other things. And it's kind of a fun experiment, kind of learning about the different ways to try to land a probe.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone is its own science, it seems.
It really is. They've done everything to get things to land on Mars. Everything from just shooting it hard at the ground, not caring about stopping. Parachutes that have, deployed poorly and it still hit the ground very hard. Obviously, the balloon thing was the most interesting thing to me. The airbags,
right?
That thing was quite an interesting idea, and it worked. That was the most mind-blowing thing.
Right.
The last thing oh my God, what was the name of the one they just sent? Was it Curiosity? Why does my brain? Anyway, well, that was really awesome. The last time they did it, they pulled the crane maneuver, and it worked. So they're like, well, let's try something bigger. If it worked before, it'll work again. And so we can finally drop something that weighs, 2 tons. So they're going to try this, and it should be awesome. If they do, they will have the most technologically advanced rover or piece of space equipment outside of low Earth orbit ever. And this thing can do magical things. If there is anything alive on Mars, this is the very first rover, the very first piece of equipment that has a weapons-grade laser on it.
We need more of those. Yes.
Yeah.
It can kill some freaking aliens if they try to get them.
This is like stronger than a tattoo laser, which, by the way, is like 1,000,000 volts, which because it snaps really fast, you never get burned, but it can just erase tattoos off of you. But if it's a continuous zap, it will literally burn a hole in you in a second. They're pretty strong. So this is stronger than like a tattoo laser, and it will be shot at rocks to find out the chemical makeup of said rocks. Seems like an overkill to me, but okay. I don't know.
Well, maybe they've come across some type of more like harder substance that they aren't, too sure about. So they need to be able to get through it. Or maybe it's, could the laser be used for drilling, or do they have their own separate function for that on this probe?
Yeah, they do have a drill. As a matter of fact, they have more than just a drill. They have multiple drill options. There's a lot of stuff on this, man. They have 23 cameras on this. Yeah, each one is built for a specific purpose. Don't ask me to go through all 23.
Right. Well, and it's about the size of a smart car. So imagine 23 cameras all around that. Imagine that they're, some are attached to extendable arms, some are on its underbelly, some are just in other spots to get closer looks at things from angles that are difficult, I would assume.
There are certain ones so that the rover can see where it's going, and there are certain ones so that we, as the humans at NASA, can see where it's going. There's some that specifically look at chemical makeups, rocks and other items they find, I guess, mostly rocks. And there are some cameras on there to look at the experiments. Like they have one called MOXIE, which is probably the most important experiment that's that's on that. Moxie is able, well, in theory, they've proved it on Earth. They don't know if it'll work on Mars, that it can turn carbon dioxide into oxygen by changing the atomic makeup of the chemical. So that, Mars is mostly full of carbon dioxide. So we can't breathe that. But if this machine works, then that means that when, Elon Musk is ready to send the Starship, they'll have a giant Moxie on it, and it can begin converting the atmosphere of Mars into oxygen for our astronauts.
Right, it's going to start terraforming some of the areas.
It's not going to terraform anything. It's not on that level. It's on like, hey, can we create canisters for the astronauts to breathe?
Okay. Well, I thought that the way that was implied was that a small section might be able to have more oxygen that's breathable in it. I kind of assumed.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you're right. I mean, because if this does work, then let's stop. Why stop there? Like,
it's the first step to terraforming, essentially.
It really is. That's the perfect way to say it. It's the first step at terraforming. If you can convert 1 cubic meter of air of carbon, I keep saying dioxide. Is it dioxide or monoxide? I can never remember. If you can convert that to oxygen, then you have the most valuable thing on Mars if you're a human, period. And if you can create those bigger and bigger and bigger, yes, you could totally terraform Mars. Yeah. The only downside to doing that on a large scale level is there is no electromagnetic protection on Mars. There's no electromagnetic field to hold the atmosphere in. It's constantly bleeding off the carbon monoxide, dioxide, whatever the hell it is. And one of the other strange things about this, though, is back, when the original, I keep thinking it's the Mariner. Let me look this up while we're talking.
The Marinera.
It's the Marinera. It was this red spacecraft, kind of liquidy. But when it landed, and it literally thought they had this guy at NASA. He's like, do the experiment, and they initialize the experiment. It takes a sample of soil, it injects a chemical to see if there's like a fume that comes off of it, and this chemical only kills biology. Like, it would only cause a methane to come out of it because it killed biology. And sure enough, it happened multiple times. And for whatever reason, they weren't ready to claim life on Mars. But even to this day, and he's an old man, very old man. But there are certain YouTube channels you can go to, like the Angry Astronaut's a great one. He has actually had an interview with that man within the last month, and it is just it's a fabulous interview. The guy is older than the hills, but he does he does say, hey, look, this is what it was built for. This is why it happened. This is why they said that they wouldn't acknowledge that there's life there, and it came down to politics. But they since have decided to, since the Chinese are racing to get to Mars, and since the Russians are racing to get to Mars, and even Saudis are racing to get to Mars, they said, you know what, maybe we ought to be the first ones who claim that life is on Mars. So they put that experiment on here as well. Should be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Could there potentially be a battle of international rovers on the moon or on Mars? You get the Russian, Chinese, Saudis, and American rovers trying to claim their territory on Mars.
Man, seriously, putting a weapons-grade laser on a rover and having the biggest rover there is so America, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's just so America. And I'm not getting into the corruption or whatever, politics. Let's just talk about straight up America and Texas and America, because we like things big, and Texas really likes them big. But it's just funny that we drop something like that there. And yes, I understand that the laser is specifically made to check for this or that, but I mean, in a pinch, it's a weapon. It really is. And now with what's really wild is Saudi Arabia sent their first 2 satellites there, and they're on the way, but they're willing to share information, which is pretty cool. This rover that's going to be dropping February 18th is also a part of a bigger mission. It's not just there to check for life and see if it can change air into, oxygen. And
air into oxygen.
Well, whatever damn air.
I know what you mean.
What do we breathe out?
The Martian is. I got you.
Like, weird. I should know this. But the thing is the Chinese they've got this whole plan. Yes, it's going to take them a while. Let's be honest. They just really started getting into space and having capabilities such that the Russians did in the 60s. They improve things very quickly, and I'm not here to down any particular race or culture, but they have a propensity stereotypically to work quickly with technology. So yeah, I think there'll be some sort of Mars is not just a planet. It's not just some cool place that we can go to like an island in the South Pacific. It is a resource. And when we go fighting over resources, that's what we do. We fight over resources, oil. There's many reasons to go to another country and pull your weapons, but it always has something to do with resources. I think that will possibly happen on the moon first, but
yeah, and space, alone is like the biggest untapped resource ever, pretty much. Like all the materials that we have on Earth was essentially from different parts of space, and we're running out. Most likely, things are finite on the planet Earth, so it's like
helium.
At some point, we gonna be fucked.
Helium-3 is definitely finite on Earth, and it is one of the cleanest burning energies. It is like maybe the cleanest burning energy that we have access to, and the moon is just tapped full of it. It's just like full of it, man. It's like you walk up, kick a rock, there's helium-3 just packed in it. So that's going to be a big resource that it's very scary, man. It's not even a joke. The Chinese keep landing on the moon, actually. They're not even talking about it in mainstream media anymore. They keep landing these Chang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even know what they're up to now. 8. On the dark side of the moon, they're doing these experiments, and they're planning to land on the moon themselves and start their own alpha base, Chinese alpha base or whatever. They're not messing around, and that's why Space Force, honestly.
No, I'd say, well, that's good that there's competition. In a way, that leads to the best innovations, I'd say.
Man, we're going to see some seriously cool innovations, no doubt about it.
Because when there's no competition, no heat, then there's no spark. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh shoot, somebody else is going up there. Well, hey, I don't want you to beat me. So it's like both sides fighting for dominance, and overall would probably benefit humanity in the long run. But I could imagine. I don't know why they haven't made a movie that's like, the Battle of Mars or the Moon, and it's just the probes that we send up there. It's like starting slow. It's like, oh, it's for discoveries and it's good. Oh, we're finding more stuff, and then the first two international robots meet each other. It's like, oh, hey, shit, what do we do here? It's like, pull out your laser. Okay, are we gonna start the battle, or are they gonna have their own colony of some kind? They start building their own little weapons, bunkers and stuff for the rovers to start doing stuff. Have international wars. Mexico gets theirs finally into the fight.
What?
It's like every country's trying to get in on the war in space or something.
In the year 3000,
Jesus,
Mexico will have a successful space program.
But it's just rovers on Mars and no people. It's like
that's hilarious.
Just the rovers is all I'm imagining. A bunch of little robot things, different upgrades here and there. It'd be like freaking Terminator land up there.
Oh man, like we would pack stadiums to watch people fight their rovers.
The rovers decide to team up against the humans on Earth.
Right.
It's like, oh shit, no.
Who gets it?
We armed them with practically nukes. No.
Oh yeah. And Gorodachi brings a nuke. Watch out, everybody.
Yes. It'd be like those little robot fights that we have on Earth with like the little tiny bot battles that happen. But it's like, nope, let's do that on Mars. I do one punch, wait half an hour for a move to happen. Okay, now I do kick.
Right.
Okay, now I do flamethrower. What?
Yeah, it's like 29 minutes. I'm picking, right? It's really 30 minutes. Let's just say 30 minutes. 30 minutes. It's like crazy.
Which is funny because we're at the 29-minute mark.
Yeah, exactly.
30 minute now, but still.
Oh, I see that. That's weird. 30 minutes.
Interesting timing.
This is just really exciting to me. I don't know how exciting it is to other people, but the experiments they're going to be doing literally is part of a larger program. It's a I can't remember what you call it, a free return program, or it's basically the whole program is this goes first, and then meanwhile we're trying to work on the Starship, and then we go to the moon and we learn how to get resources from the moon to where we can create water and oxygen. And I don't know if you know this. We talked about it. Anybody out in the chat, I don't know if you know this, but we talked about it on our last stream. But they found water embedded in the moon, but not at the polar caps. They just announced this last week that for every square meter, there's like 12 ounces. So that's 12 shot glasses of water per every meter, every square meter.
And it's space water. Think how much get space water, dude. That ain't from the tap or from the spring. That's from space.
Yeah. So I guess it's at the atomic level, because wouldn't it evaporate? I don't understand that.
I'm not sure how that would work scientifically, but Daytona Falls says natural gas is eternal. Earth's farts could sustain a humble population.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Yeah. Angela says we need the moon as a launching spot to travel to other places in the galaxy. Well, we first got to get within our own solar system. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I was right the first time. We do officially expel carbon dioxide. So that is what, strangely enough, the moon is full of. So we can't go breathing expelled breath.
Yes.
But
Daytona Falls has a great plan. He says he wants to go to the moon just so he can moon the Earth.
Oh, that's great. That wouldn't be what you'd want to do, Daytona.
I love that. That's great. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Mars has so much potential. The moon's got its potential.
I was like, I got to subscribe to this guy.
Yes.
He's got boobies on his channel.
Yes.
But, yeah, man, it's funny you bring up farts, because that's one of the other experiments that is on this rover. They are going to be checking a chemical analysis of two different areas. One is Jezero Crater. That's their prime directive, to land and hopefully land right at Jezero Crater. On the crane piece of the ship with the thrusters on it, it has these special, well, I don't know if you guys saw the Blue Origin shot last week. They shot up and they went into orbit and they landed right back. They didn't go around the Earth or anything, just came right back. NASA had put this experiment, that's the Starship, but Blue Origin's, it's okay, I didn't even talk to you about that. But they have NASA put an experiment on there. It's basically the same type of, think of it like what Tesla puts on their cars to see the lines on the road. This kind of double checks to see where it should land and where it shouldn't land. If it notices that there's too rocky of an area, it won't land there. It'll land in a more flat area. So they experimented with that, but they also went ahead and experimented with it on this crane that's going to drop this rover. So when it gets there, it's likely going to be, see, in the past, they just landed wherever and hoped for the best. Geez, I hope it's a flat area. And they got lucky. That's all there is to it. But this one is going to know where to land. They've improved their chances by 50% just by putting that on there. But so I said all that to say that there's high likelihood they're going to land. So they're aiming for Jezero Crater. And at Jezero Crater, 4 billion years ago, that was a lake as big as Lake Tahoe, which is a pretty sizable lake. They believe that might have been the reason that Mars had its atmosphere wiped away, because a large planet or planetoid or rock hit the planet of Mars right there and destroyed all life as we might have known it on that planet. So they believe that even though there's no water there, that's the best place to look for microbiology. So they're going to check that. Also, every year, the farts, I'm coming back to the farts. Every year, there's like this incredibly large increase in oxygen and methane. Methane can be created only two ways in the entire universe that we're aware of, and that is by a living biological entity, farts, or by a very specific chemical reaction in a volcano. And as far as they know, they don't have many volcanic, they don't have much volcanic activity on the planet. There was a huge reaction in July of 2019. I don't know if you guys knew about that. One of the major ones near Olympus Mons went off. It wasn't Olympus Mons. It was one of the other three that are right below it. And it was crazy. Everyone was talking about it in this sort of community, space community. But yeah, so they don't have a lot of volcanic activity, not enough to create this methane that basically comes out of nowhere along with oxygen. So they're going to experiment with that. They're going to definitely test to see if that they're going to go to that area where the methane is most, proliferating, and try and find out if there's biology there. So should be hell of a time.
Hell yeah. When you're first getting onto the conversation there, I thought you were going to say they literally like vacuum sucked people's farts or something to put on the rover to like use with some type of experiment for. I'm like, what? Take my thought to the Mars, please.
Well, it would
the first one to pass gas on Mars. There you go.
It wouldn't be weird or anything to reuse methane as a form of fuel. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think it'd be weird to see like Rookie sitting there on this tube trying to give rockets.
Yeah, it's important. It's got to be my best fart ever for the rover.
This one's for the rover.
It's for science and humanity.
This one's for you, bro.
Yes. Daytona Falls says, sure, they found water on the moon. Those air conditioners keeping the underground alien layers produce lots of sweat.
Right?
Yeah, he knows how we're thinking.
It's entirely possible.
I would hope so.
It seems
James. No, go ahead.
It seems they found a way to process Baby Yoda's farts into a biodegradable rocket fuel. Yeah. Good old Baby Yoda.
Use the farts, Baby Yoda.
Oh, yeah. I love Baby Yoda. Who doesn't love Baby Yoda?
I don't.
You don't?
No. But I could see a Jim Carrey Grinch and Baby Yoda team up movie. That'd be something.
That would be funny. It would be funny. Although I'm not a big fan of Jim Carrey anymore because he's so weird.
He's always been a weird one. I never considered him normal.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't pay attention to what he does outside of his movies pretty much. So yeah. Probably extreme wackadoo. But
yeah,
yep. He's got those hit or miss movies. Like some are like, okay, this is pretty funny. Others are like, what the hell did you do this for? My God.
Exactly. It's like the something spot of the something mind, the spotless mind, eternal, or whatever. I tried to watch that. I don't even remember when, 10 years ago, something. I was like, This sucks. So I didn't watch it.
It's like, and there's things in Ace Ventura that were good, but then things that were like, why?
Right. With Ace Ventura, I just figured the more awkward and terrible it was, the more interesting it was to see him get out of it. Like how. So I found entertainment in that, and then some things were genuinely funny. So.
It's like, does he have a mental handicap in that film? I don't understand. Like,
yeah, it's like those were his cocaine days, and they just said, "All right, roll film."
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
But Daytona Falls says, if the human dummies believe that we can heal Earth, then we can heal Mars. Import farts.
Hashtag import farts. Yeah, it's true. It should be interesting to see what they come up with. I am literally on pins and needles to see what the Starship can do. Gosh, they're going to launch that really soon, man. Go back to that picture.
Okay.
Look at that, man. That is crazy. So if any one of you are following the building of this thing, you must be as amazed as I am. A year ago in October, they built this giant silo and put a couple of fins on it and said, "This is what it will look like." And I thought, man, that is the most redneck rocket I've ever seen. But they sure did. They sure did take it to a new level a year later, and with all of the avionics, and they created a new engine, by the way, a full flow stage engine, which has never been officially done. They've tried it at NASA, and the Russians have tried it, and then found out it was too difficult and threw it away, and that was that. Never been attached to a rocket. And they've already shot the full flow Velociraptor is the full name, engine up with the original Grasshopper, which is not in this picture, but it's off to the side. And then the two, they did 2 tests, one back in September and one in early October with Starship prototype SN5 and then SN8, right? This one's already flown a little bit. Yep. So then they added the nose cone. This is all 301 stainless steel. Starship prototype SN9 is already built. It just has to have the nose cone put on top, and all the avionics and all this hooked to it, and put the engines in it, and it'll be ready to go in case this one hits the ground really hard and create craters, as Elon would put it. And that's a real possibility. This thing is supposed to go 15 miles into the sky, which, by the way, is higher than passenger jets fly, to give you an idea of the height 15 miles is. So when it comes up to 15 clicks, it's going to belly flop purposely, turn off the engines, lay on its side, and the fins are going to act like a drag coefficient to move it from left to right or up or down. When it gets real close to the ground, like within 150, 200 feet, it's going to flip and fire up the engines and land like as soft as a dove. So we'll see. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. So I got to see this, man. This should be just absolutely badass. Either it lands or it doesn't. It's still going to be badass.
Yes, and if it crashes, well, then it should be a cool crash.
Yeah, it'll be a hell of a crash.
If it doesn't land, of course.
Yeah, it's full of methalox, which is methane and oxygen, conveniently. Exactly what they're studying at Mars with the rover. So, yep.
Exactly, man. There's just so much going on with science innovation right now. I'm loving the private companies trying to do their part to, bring this forward in some way, shape, or form. I mean, imagine if the budget for NASA was at least 2% instead of less than 1%. Did you catch that? Hello? Don't hear you, Flip. Oh, no, we might have lost Flip. I'm not hearing him. Cannot hear him talking. Internet problems. No, they got him. All right, so I'll have to hang out with the chat until Flip comes back because it froze or something. Not sure. Let's see. All right. So, Daytona Fall says, I love the first Ace Ventura so much. I can only watch it every couple of years, and I die laughing every time. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't know why I enjoyed it so much. There's some funny parts in it, but not entirely. Some of it was kind of a little iffy on some parts, like when he's like putting all the food in his face. That was kind of awkward, but the other parts are pretty funny, though. And with the raccoon and the drop at the beginning, that was freaking sad. Daytona Fall says, the Tower of Power rocket. Exactly. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Team Rocket. There better be a don't panic button in there. Oh, there's probably definitely going to be a couple panic buttons in there. Don't you worry. Most likely. Drop the link. Let's get this party started. Well, yeah, these ones are probably going to be kind of short for the most part. We've we've pretty much covered quite a bit about the rovers, but I wasn't sure if we had a little bit more to cover. But I'm trying to see if Flip gets on back in here. He might have had an internet issue a second ago, but that's all good. What's on your guys' mind tonight? Well, how's your Sunday night going? I know the election stuff's a little crazy over there, but that's all good. Yes, I would talk some different areas of space stuff. Like, I'm more interested in like the biological discoveries that we could have in space, like what could be like beneath the surface of Mars or the moon in Europa, Jupiter's moon, Titan and Triton, what you could discover in there, because there's so much possibilities for that. But that's all good. I'm going to give Flip a call to see if he's having trouble. He had this issue one time where he couldn't get in through StreamYards very well. So let's see. So maybe if I put him on speaker, we could still have him that way.
Your call has been forwarded to an...
Nope. Oops. All right, never mind. I was going to try to do it like that, but that is all good. All right. I'm going to see how he is doing on that. Daytona says, this is my second Saturday. What? Oh, that's a Sunday. Okay. You made me think for a second that today was a Saturday, even though I know it's a Sunday, but you almost kind of tricked me there, buddy. You almost kind of tricked me there. Yeah, when I said the thing, I was like, was that not funny? And when there was no answer for a sec, I was like, oh no. But, oh, well, yes. So, Daytona says Flip got raided. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like it. They got him. He knows too much. He doth know too much. What's up, Lady Tariel? She says, hi, everyone. If you just came in right now, Tariel, Flip was with me a second ago, but then they seem to have gotten him. They got to Flip. He knew too much information, and now he is no longer with us with this. Oh, no. Trying to get a hold of him with some of this, but that is all good. While I text him, I'm going to put a thingy up here so it's not completely dead silent while I'm looking. Okay, no, he's here. Thank goodness. All right.
Hey,
you back? Okay.
I don't know what the hell happened. It said I had no internet. I asked my kid and I asked my parents. I was like, what's going on in there? Nothing. Just the computer stopped having internet. So sorry about that.
Yeah. Daytona theorized that they got you. That you knew too. That you knew too much. You doth know too much.
I might. I'm definitely a thinker, and I know I'm kind of diarrheaing all this out of my mouth tonight. Catch me on a better night, and I can talk about it more slowly and more detailed. But yeah, I love this stuff. I love it, man. It wouldn't surprise me though, as much stuff as I've been pushing out that I know they don't want out there. Hey, Lord, Tutorial's here.
Yep, Hale. She says thanks for the shout outs on Twitter. And she says no to losing Flip, but you're back. So.
I've returned. You can't get rid of me.
You can't sue me.
I'm like a piece of gum stuck to your shoe.
Yep, we want to remove it, but we're too lazy to lift up our shoe and peel it off. So he's stuck with us.
And if you get really desperate, hey, you can chew me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Daytona Falls says, I'm taking days every Monday, or I'm taking vacay days every Monday till Christmas. This is what happens when you save all your vacation hours all year. That's a good plan.
Brilliant. I'll have to ask my job and see how that works. I know I have like a booklet somewhere. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a full 2 months of 3-day weekends.
Man, you got Rookie doing math over here, bro.
Exactly. Like, what the hell? Oh, that's all good. But so I guess let's get back on to the topic over here. I'm not sure how much more that you want to talk about this one for the rover stuff, but I figured there's still a little bit more we could get into before we close on out.
Yeah, sure, man. There are a lot of cool experiments.
Oh, no, you cut out again. No. Okay, you're back. Okay.
I'm still here.
Okay, because you're like, there's a lot of good...
Damn. I think they are listening to me sometimes. I don't know. But there's a lot of cool experiments on it. I don't know. To me, it's just intriguing that they can even do it at all. Landing something that's like 2 tons on this planet that's 4 million miles away. It's insane to think of. Did you happen to know? Did you guys? I don't know if you all heard about this, but Venus supposedly has life in the atmosphere. Have you heard about that?
Well, I mean, of course I have, and speculate on this. Flip and I are going to do that as its own stream at some point. I swear, because that's a big conversational piece right there.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to get into a lot of detail with it, but what is intriguing about it is they found something called phosphine. You might want to look into that. I didn't remember the chemical last stream, but it's phosphine. It bothered me that I didn't remember, so I know it now. But yeah, so with finding the possibility of life on Venus and finding the possibility of life already on Mars back in 1970, whatever it was, I think 73, 74, somewhere around there, with the Marinera. And then they actually believe Europa and Titan have life of some sort. So what's interesting is, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Drake equation, but that if you do the equation, at least with present knowledge, you get to be around 36 other alien species in our galaxy, at least 36 to 39, they say. And the biggest question is, where are they? Well, right next door, apparently. They may just be as small as, what did you call them? Water buffalo?
Yep.
Yeah. I can't remember the other name for those. They were in one of those Avengers movies, I think. The one with the
were they?
Yeah, man. They were in damn it. What's the guy who gets real small? Why can't I remember his name?
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man, yeah. Yeah, they were in that movie, if you remember.
I don't remember that part, but yeah, the water buffalo can survive in very extreme temperatures, really hot, really cold in space, and that they're like the only life forms that we know of that can do that. So there's lots of potential for other life forms that could do that as well, and even ones that for the longest time we didn't know that there could be life forms so deep in the ocean, but they get the heat, the thermal vents or whatever from the core. That provide quite a bit of life down there as well and keep it warm. So there's lots of potential under the moons. There's so much that can go into with all this. I love it. It's like even the atmosphere of or not even that, just on Jupiter or on Saturn. I mean, there's potential for life forms to be there as well. I mean, the ones that we wouldn't be able to understand officially, same like with Venus and stuff. But Venus would probably be the closest where we could find something familiar to us, like, you might be a life form for the most part. But in other places, I don't know, even in Jupiter, there might be some type of gaseous ones that, for all we know, they could resemble like a hot air balloon. It's like it's like a life form. That's like, hey, yeah, I'm just having the gas. Don't need to land. Nope, we're good. Just chilling on here. Don't need no rocky ground. Nope.
Anything could exist. Rookie has some great pictures we're going to show you one day of beings that he just thought might exist out there in space somewhere. They're pretty wild. I think you'll enjoy them. We'll put those in one of these.
Oh yeah, I think the last time I showed them live was during my birthday stream where I was drunk last year. And I was like, I drew aliens. Look. Like, oh no.
Yeah, they're interesting though. They really are, because you really don't know what to expect. There could be silica-based life forms, they say. That's insane. That's just an insane prospect. Even stories you hear about these so-called grays, as you can see, I'm a big fan of it with my emblem. Well, not a big fan per se. I just find them intriguing. I don't want to be around them, but yes. But with the water buffalo being a possibility, I mean, they've already proved it. They've taken them into the vacuum of space, and they did survive. Mold spores. Now, this will give you an idea of how gross it is inside the International Space Station. They don't shower there, and they have bathrooms that are kind of right in front of everybody, much like a prison. But the work detail is much more intricate and lots of math. But my best guess is it doesn't smell incredible on that station. So they've had a mold spore problem on the station. Not only inside, the crazy thing is on the outside in the vacuum of space, they've had mold spores. So there is life out there, and it can survive in absolute zero in a vacuum and not even be a water buffalo. So it's interesting. What we'll end up coming across is going to be some of the craziest stuff that science has ever seen. If we could get down to like Europa and get through that, are they saying 15 miles of ice or 1.5 miles?
I think it's 15. I could be wrong, but I think they said 15.
That is a sick distance to drill through. Did you hear about how they're going to drill through it though? They already have a plan.
They have plans, but it's a long ways away. Like 2040 at the least.
I don't disagree. Like, even if they go forward with the plan, which is using a depleted uranium tip on this drill, specially built diamond drill, they think that it'll melt mostly through it. I'm thinking you're going to have one seriously, active piece of uranium. I don't know what depleted means. I guess that.
Well, it's like I think they hope that they can land it near one of the cracks on Europa, and if they can already get already go part way through the depth of it, so they don't have to go through the whole 15 miles or something, then that'd be great. But that seems unlikely. I think that's why I don't even know if that's in their plans in the next 40 years. Honestly, like I feel like that's pushed quite a bit back in their stuff because it'd be so difficult to implement. If they could even get the landing right of the probe onto the moon and where they need it to be, because they want it to be where it's the softest or where they already got the best chances of digging through all the way. Even if they get that, as lucky as they can be to get it right, I mean, there's still so many things that can go wrong with it, especially being an icy surface that we've never been on before. Like, right. Who knows how, if it can even withhold the whole weight of the thing, or if it's like, how thick is the ice though? Like, we don't really know. Like, how strong is it or how weak is it? It could be super weak ice for all we know. It just collapses and crushes, destroys the drill as it lands. Like, oh, we thought it was going to kind of land. Nope. Like, no. Right.
So, but the idea is the drill has the submarine probe in it. Right. So once it gets through the ice, it shoots it kind of poops out the submarine thing. And so the drill itself acts as sort of a liaison, a relay, if you will, for the signal. And then the signal goes up to the top portion that landed, and it relays the signal to the satellite to Earth. So that's quite an intricate design. And you're right, there's a million things that could go wrong. And is it Jupiter right there at Europa? Or
yeah, it's Jupiter.
Saturn, and they both have so many moons, I get them mixed up with.
Yep.
There is such a gravitational pull that the ice shelf could be just brittle. Could be completely brittle. You land on it and whoop, you go right in the water, way down there. They just don't know. You're right.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be cool if they're able to, and if we can get proof that there's some type of life forms under the surface. I mean, I'd like to think it'd be kind of cool if there's some advanced ones, or if there's some freaking giant. Like, I wonder how big the ocean is under there. Like, could be pretty small relative to Earth's size of an ocean. Yeah. But still, like, there's a lot of things that can fit in an ocean or even in a lake. So,
yeah, and naysayers are already like, well, we've only studied only 5% of our ocean. Why would you want to go to another planet for the ocean? Well, sure, but I mean, it's another planet. We always, as humans, we try to do things that are told to us to be impossible.
Are we gonna wait until we've combed 100% of the freaking ocean here? Like, what? Right.
Well, I haven't probed even 1% of my toilet, so I mean, it's right in my house. I don't need to right now.
Right. It's like the gist is we're aware that there are things within our ocean that we have not discovered, but we haven't discovered anything anywhere else. So if we find life forms in an ocean on an alien extraterrestrial type of planet or moon,
yeah,
I mean, that instantly is like, damn, wow. And as soon as the probe touches down into the water, in a way, wouldn't it technically start, if there wasn't already any type of Earth mixing, or there wasn't any life forms there, it would as soon as the probe is in the water.
Yeah, I mean, the what do they call it when you're mixing two different bacteria, whatever they call it. You have to stay in a safe room when you come back from space, and before you go, you have to clean everything.
Well, yeah, because they'd have the space stuff and they'd have the Earth stuff going into the water of that area, where like it could potentially create life there in a way,
or kill life,
life, exactly, or just mix. You get some Earthling stuff over there. Mm-hmm. It's the seedlings for a million years from now. They actually become a intelligent species under there. Who knows?
Yeah,
if they don't already. What if we see Aquaman? We go under Europa and we see him just as they did in the Batman v Superman at the end. He's just staring at the camera for like 5 seconds before he destroys it.
Right? That would be amazing. I mean, nothing is out of the realm of possibility. We have no idea what to expect as we venture out into the stars. So,
we see Waldo.
Man, if we saw Waldo, I would just shit.
We found Waldo.
We found him. Such a long search.
he was having an affair with Carmen Sandiego.
Oh man, I need a Waldo outfit. I can do some fun skits with that.
Yeah.
So before we close out, I do want to talk about the very last thing about the Perseverance. The really highest risk but highest reward part of the mission is a little thing that's attached up under it. It's a helicopter. Yes, they're putting a helicopter under the probe. Jeez, if I can remember the dang name at the moment. Why I blank out when I get live, I have no idea. But what's really cool about it is it's going to have basically double blades. There's only 1% of an atmosphere on Mars. So everyone has always said, unless you have a lighter than air aircraft, which is just impossible, you couldn't fly there. And engineers love a good challenge. So they created this little tiny helicopter. It's got a radioisotope battery, which is basically depleting uranium or whatever. And it'll keep it warm at night. But this thing pops down, the rover drives away, and there's no guarantee that it will fly. But if they can get this thing to fly, it's going to change the way we scout Mars and look for, life. So it's really interesting to me that this will be the first aircraft on another planet, that we can just basically fly around. One of the other interesting things about this helicopter is that the blades will spin. And I'm not even reading anything to give you all. This is straight off the top of my brain. So if I don't get some of the things right, at least I'm not reading Wikipedia to you. But I do know that the blades will spin counterclockwise, the top and bottom blade. That's so you don't have to have 4 blades, like a drone, and you don't have to have, a rear stabilizing blade like on a helicopter. It's self-stabilizing by spinning the blades in opposite directions. But since the atmosphere is so low, they figured, let's spin the helicopter blades 10 times faster, and that'll do the trick. I don't know if it will. They don't know if it will for sure. They've put it in their vacuum over at NASA, and to adjust for the difference in gravity, they hung it from a piece of fishing line. Yep, your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. But I can't imagine any other way that they could do it. Maybe hop on the Vomit Comet, like we talked about last time, and see if they can get it to fly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's attached, and they're going to do it. And this is going to be something that is just going to be a lot of fun to watch. If you decide to rewatch this, and I'm not sure you would, it's hard to rewatch some streams, especially when I talk on them. But if you do, I'll put some links on so that you guys can actually follow along in real time with the Perseverance when it lands February 18th, and you can watch real-time pictures pop up and video. So that'll be fun.
Hell yeah! What day is February 18th on?
Oh, hey Google, what day is February 18th, 2021?
February 18th, 2021 falls on a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
Okay, well, we should try to go live on.
2020 falls on a Thursday.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Shut up, Google. God damn it!
She's a little wordy.
Trying to stream. God damn it!
I've got a Siri in here too, and one time I was like, I had activated Google, and I said, "Hey Siri," and it was like, "I'm not Siri," and I was like, "Oh right."
Yeah, and there's a South Park one where Cartman found a bunch of Siris and Google thing or Alexas and whatever. He's like, Alexa, say hello, Siri, whatever thingy, something, whatever my balls to my shopping list, whatever, Google something. And so then after it repeats him, then it will say, hey Siri, and then it'll repeat, and then that one will activate, and then they'll repeat the same message pretty much, but like each to each other.
And he just kept going over and over.
Activates like 16.
That's awesome.
That's pretty funny. But
they've had some strange situations with those things, especially when they first came out and people were experimenting with them.
Oh yeah, I heard about those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we should try to do a stream on that day for the launch.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, man. Because it'll be landing, and we can just do a live stream of the landing. Yes, technically it'll be 39 minutes behind when it actually happens, but it's still,
yeah.
Still awesome.
It's all good. As far as we know, it's happening now. So that's
in
real time when we do it.
Oh, right.
It will be relative. It'll be relative.
I gotcha. Yeah. I follow.
But yeah, so with that, pretty much closes out our first little episode of Cosmic Conversations. This is pretty fun. As you can tell, Flip is quite knowledgeable in this area. I'll be doing some of my homework too as we go on to some of our future streams with this. Yeah, we're going to try to do this every other week. And so you're going on to another show right after this, right?
Yes, I am. I'm going to go over to Final Death Star, and we do a show Sundays at 10 called Enter the Nether, when we talk aliens. So you can come here to hear Cosmic Conversations, and we talk science fact, and then we go over there and talk aliens and such, which who knows if it's science fact or fiction. Exactly.
And I might veer into science fiction sometimes, where I have Chinese robots fighting American robots on the moon and stuff and whatnot.
Oh man, bro, I have the coolest thing to send you. I get this weird pop-up on my YouTube about this Japanese robot they really made. It's like some, I don't know what you call it, gotcha gumi or whatever. And it's pretty cool though. They can, it stands like six stories tall. It's huge.
Oh yeah, I saw one of those.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, now if they can get those things to walk and talk, and man, that's just, they've already done everything else, like the lighting on it's killer, all the special effects, pyrotechnics. Yeah.
But it's like a banana could take it down.
Right.
It slips on a banana peel, it's over.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to think, those Estes model rockets. Have you ever built one, seen somebody with one? You ever heard of it?
I've heard of them, have not built one myself.
Okay. They've just got like this solid rocket motor that you can put in the bottom and, activate it with a spark, and it flies into the air, pops the parachute out, the whole drill. I always thought about taking fireworks and dumping out all the gunpowder or whatever the hell's in those things, and creating my own rocket, and like a weapon. I never did it, thank God. I did one thing that was really stupid. I thought it would be a really good idea and luckily I did the first step, which was empty all the BBs out of a shotgun shell, and then hammer a nail down from the top into the shell itself. And we took turns, me and a buddy, banging the nail in until it went off, actually. And luckily it didn't blow our fingers off. It was me who got the final hit. And so, yeah. Could you imagine? I took that sort of ingenuity, because that was not very smart, and made myself a little rocket.
Yeah, couldn't have it in any better hands.
I'm telling you. I was that kid who took bottle rockets. We had wars, so that was back before paintball guns, and that's what we did. Yeah.
Yep. People in the chat were still like, the Martians have taken Flip. No.
Man, that would be a scary prospect, for real. Find yourself on some sort of a ship is never a good thing. That's not a good thing.
Nope, whether it be alien or human, probably not the best idea.
For real. That's a good point. That's a good point. Like, I guess if you train your whole life to go up in a rocket, yeah, you want to be there. But if they're like, hey, you know, everybody else is dead and you got to get away from the zombies, come with us on this rocket or whatever weird situation that drove you to be on a rocket suddenly, yeah, that'd be pretty scary.
Yeah. Daytona wants to know, what was the channel again? Final Death Star didn't pop up.
Oh, it's all one word. Final Death Star. There's no spaces.
Yep, so that's where you can find the Flipster next. Yeah, that pretty much closes out this episode. If you guys want to leave any suggestions for topics or things that you want us to cover in the future, let us know in the comments below. And have a fantastic, spectacular, space-tacular